106.2 FM.
Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Prime. I'm your host, Akil Khalil, and we are diving into the fascinating world of arts and creativity tonight with an incredible guest. Joining us is Charlie Jennifer. I hope I've said that right.
Yes, well done. Hello, good evening.
A poet and creative powerhouse representing Peterborough Presents, a fantastic community arts organisation transforming creativity in our city. So stick around, you don't want to miss this. Now, Charlie Jennifer is deeply rooted in community arts and has played an essential role in empowering Peterborough's creative voices. Charlie, it's fantastic to have you here.
Thank you. I need you to follow me around and read that introduction everywhere. That was amazing.
You know there's a small fee for that, right?
Yeah. Agents fee. I've got you. I
like this. So tonight we're talking about Peterborough Presents.
Yes.
It's been 10 years since the organisation started, with a real focus on Millfield for the last 7 years.
Yes.
Let's start at the beginning then. So how did Peterborough Presents come to life?
So we are funded by a strand of Arts Council England, which is a national organisation that disseminates public funds from the government and also National Lottery through a strand called Creative People and Places, which is only certain parts of England are eligible for this funding, and it's places that, for the size and demographic of the population, there's what they call low engagement in the arts. So people aren't getting involved in the current arts and culture activity that's available in those locations. So what we do really is work with people across communities, across the city, in different neighbourhoods, to create projects together with those communities that are more relevant for them, that involve them directly in shaping everything from what the project is to making stuff that will be part of the finished event or exhibition or whatever kind of project it is. So really, it's all about involving communities and making arts and culture and creativity a relevant place for people to feel seen and valued.
Sounds amazing. Really, really does. And in terms of, the success that you've had over the last 7 years, specifically in the Millfield area, have you found community engagement forthcoming?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got so many friends in Millfield and Gladstone, so many. There's such a welcoming neighbourhood, so welcoming. And there's been some really lovely, as a Peterboroughan myself, there's been some lovely personal connections from my dad worked at Baker Perkins, for example, and there's members of the Asian community that went through the apprenticeship with him, and through meeting them through work, I've been able to reconnect them again.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody's so welcoming, so helpful. I love working.
That would have brought a lot of really heartwarming conversations.
Absolutely.
For your dad and obviously the people that you managed to meet, and joining those forces back together again. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been lovely and eye-opening, and kind of also, I guess, reminds you of the importance of getting elders' stories and connections while they're around and holding on to them.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful indeed. Can you talk to me a little bit now about the restoration? I remember when we first started texting and understanding what it is that you wanted to talk about. You mentioned the restoration of the Link Road mural near Fazani Medina Mosque.
Yes.
Now, I didn't know you were behind it, but I remember when I first saw it, and I was completely blown away by it. Genuinely.
Amazing.
And like you said, if you're a Peterboroughan and you frequent that area, or maybe those people, it definitely made me smile. Can you tell us about the journey that led to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was our previous programme director, Josie, was responsible for a lot of galvanising and getting the funding with a variety of different community partners in the area. So the likes of Saeed from Community First, the Iqbal Centre, I think Ansar Ali was involved at those initial conversations as well, Kit Hubbock as well. So there was a group of people that we were already talking to and getting to know in the Millfield and Gladstone areas, and the mural just kept coming up as something that the community would love to see brought back to life. So Josie and the team went away and got some Heritage Lottery funding to facilitate the restoration of the mural itself. But then also we did a big arts and heritage project, which we called the Millfield Link, which is all about gathering just stories and memories of life in Millfield over the last 50 years. And one of the things that led to, in addition to the beautiful mural, was have you seen Daljit Singh's Magical History Tours of Millfield on Facebook or YouTube?
I've seen a clip of it.
Yeah. So those came from that project originally
Wow.
as well. So we got to pair him up with a filmmaker to create these little creative tours that blend personal stories and then more factual stuff about the area. So
Amazing,
it was
amazing.
wicked.
And I think, I mean, if you're new to the area, or if you've only had a relationship with that area for the last, shall we say, 20 years, you wouldn't actually know about the different communities that have actually lived there.
Exactly.
There's been so many different communities. We had the Italian
Absolutely.
community, we had the Afro-Caribbean community, obviously we have the Pakistani community, now we've got an Eastern European community within that community as well. There are obviously pockets of people that still live there, but there has been a sea change. And sometimes when I speak to people who live there or who have lived there, a lot of people have very fond memories
Yes.
of Millfield, and certainly, I mean, I think it helps the fact that it's in the city centre, and there's certain parts of Millfield that you can't unsee, or shall I say, they're on public view forever now, because when you're coming into Peterborough from the north and you're on a train, there's elements that you're always going to see them now.
Yeah, absolutely.
There used to be Toys R Us. Do you remember?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. But now, obviously, you've got the mosques.
Yep, absolutely.
And the minarets and the domes are quite large, so you're not going to miss that. But the journey into the area, you can see. A lot of modern businesses have taken up quite a lot of land now. Which we've got all these new businesses that have come
absolutely.
in the area. But digging down into this, you have obviously the community centres and the schools and what used to be the play areas, which have been converted to other areas. So you're right, it has a rich history.
Absolutely, and it's been a welcoming place for people from all over the world as quite often their first stop.
Correct.
And it carries those memories and those histories, even if, like you say, those people have moved on, but they're still beautiful, important stories that should be told and shared, and creativity is the perfect place to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of throughout, I would say, the last 30 years in Peterborough, there's been a lot of great things that have happened in Millfield as well, in terms of unity. People standing together for different reasons, different causes,
absolutely.
whether it's to raise money for charity, whether it's to create some sort of awareness, or interfaith work, or charity football matches, or whatever, charities
absolutely.
and so on. And it's like it's a bubbling, it's a melting pot of culture, isn't it?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it. Yeah.
So, what work have you done in terms of the Millfield Festival that takes part in Rock Park?
Yeah, so that was, again, something that we kind of ran with the community, and we provided the funding for. And that was when we first started to work in Millfield as a neighbourhood. And again, we were meeting all the kind of community leaders, the schools, the community centres. And through those conversations, people kept saying that they wanted something that was a feel-good event that brought people together from all walks of life, all backgrounds, in a neutral playing ground, so that they can come together to have fun, make memories, and experience a bit of each other's culture. So that turned into Millfield Festival. And over the last 5 years or so, it involved a mixture of national outdoor arts program that we'd work with the community to pick and choose, and then there would also be on stage, there would be members of different community groups dancing, singing, performing, or creating workshops, running interactive fun arts and crafts things for families to do together. And then we'd bring in other sectors as well to have it not just have an arts and culture focus, but then more other community services as well. And it was really successful, I think. It was a really good way for us as well to meet even more people and bring a little bit of fun to their lives.
I think I attended two of them. Just trying to remember. I think you did one in 2019.
Yes.
And I think it rained out that day.
Yeah, I think
I'm just trying to remember.
that was the rainy one. Was that with Mohammed Yahya on stage?
Could have been.
I think it was.
No, was it him? Or I thought it was. Did you not have Alman Nusrat one year?
I think we did. Yes.
That was the year that it rained out.
Yes,
yeah,
it was.
Because I remember meeting him coincidentally, actually, in a business very close to Rock Park. It rained. I was with my friend. It rained and it was cold, and I was like, and obviously it affected the footfall.
Yes.
And I remember seeing him there on stage. He had his fellow band mates with him and so on, and I was like, I really like this guy. He's got a very soulful voice, and I thought, But then we're human. I need to get a bit warm here, and so went over across to this place to have something to eat. And who walks in? He walks in.
Amazing.
I'm sure it's 2019. It was. I've got a picture with him and a mutual friend of ours.
Oh, amazing.
And that's just come back to me.
See, memories, creativity.
Exactly. And do you know what? The timing is absolutely perfect. I think we should do something. I think we should play something.
Yeah, perfect.
Here we go. Say My Name by Alman Nusrat.
The sands kissed your feet while the winds brushed your face, and I long to be in the warmth of your embrace. Oh, the tears fell from your eyes as you cried for us, and upon my Lord is all of my trust. 'Cause you are a mercy to mankind, and you bring an ease to my mind. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. Not a day goes by where I'm not reminded of the trials you face, prayers recited, the words left your blessed tongue, changing the world. Your love turns the darkest hearts into the brightest souls. 'Cause you are a mercy to mankind, and you bring an ease to my mind. Na 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 na. If I could stare into your eyes for just a moment, I would live a million lives, all worth living. To stare into your eyes for just a moment, I would live a million lives, all worth living. Hold me, my beloved, say my name and call me. Hold me, my beloved, 'cause I love you. Hold me, my beloved, say my name and call me. Hold me, my beloved, 'cause I love you. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم.
And that was Alman Nusrat with Say My Name. Always gives me goosebumps. And as we remember him, I felt it was appropriate to play one of his amazing nasheeds. So tell me, Charlie, what makes Peterborough Presents different from other arts organisations?
Good question. And the timing of this question is perfect because we've just, we're funded in 3-year cycles. So we've just hit submit on our funding bid to get us through 26 to 29. So cross all your fingers. Thank you. But we had to answer this question as part of it, so I can give you the full answer. But I think what makes us different really is that everything we do is done in collaboration and in partnership with our communities and our audiences and our residents. And the joy that brings of allowing people to try something for the first time, or to connect with people, or to maybe go on to a professional career if they're interested in that, and providing a platform for that. I think, the way that we work allows that to happen really naturally and organically, and the ripple effect of how we provide, I guess, really, it's an essential service is creativity, because of the mental health benefits and the community well-being benefits. But the way that we create those partnerships and collaborations, I think, is what allows the projects themselves to be really unique and have beautiful results that mean a lot to the people involved.
Yep. That sounds like a great answer on your form.
Thank you.
I'm assuming there's a lot of competition for this.
Kind of, yeah. There's 39 other versions of us around the country that all do very different things, because they run in the same way that we do, in that they work with the community. So the kinds of programs they do is very different.
What about here locally?
Locally, we're the only creative people and places, and our city is only allowed one. There are other arts organisations that all do brilliant work, and we work with them a lot. But there's not loads, to be fair. That's part of the reason why I think Peterborough's eligible for this funding, is that there isn't necessarily the infrastructure around like the bigger cities have that allow more frequent creative stuff. Okay.
So tell me about the impact that you feel that your organisation's had. Can you tell us about a story or of an individual or a group whose lives have been transformed by one of your projects?
Oh, good question. There's so many. I'll give you an example of one of our regular participants. So she originally got in touch with us to raise some concerns about one of our projects, because it was involving light, and she is autistic and has a reaction to flashing lights. So we were doing a handheld lantern parade, and wanted to raise that with us, that she didn't want it to be flashing lights because it would be inaccessible for her. So rather than other organisations might do with a complaint, we didn't just brush it off. We invited her in to join that community panel to really shape and work with us so we could understand how to make it accessible for her. And from that and her confidence, I've just seen her like blossom into this really confident, powerful, creative person that's now doing all sorts with us at all levels, like getting involved as a participant, but then also shaping what we do at a strategic level, and the journey that she went on with us from that initial complaint, for want of a better words, to being like a big ambassador for what we do and working with us a lot. And I think that's what we do. That's why I love, like, I wouldn't be sat here if not for Peterborough Presents either, because I went on a similar journey. I started on a young people's training program, fresh graduate, came back to my hometown, had no idea what I was going to do, and ended up here running projects. So yeah, I think the journeys we take, lots of people, and there's thousands of examples of people that have started maybe volunteering, doing the tea, and now is on stage performing, or has, like the example with my dad as well, connecting old friends. There's so many.
Amazing. How do you measure this success? I mean, how do you know that these people are making a difference? How do you measure this success?
We have because we're a funded programme, we have an evaluation process that involves the boring stuff.
Oh, well, this wasn't a trick question then.
I know. Yeah, do you work for Arts Council?
No, I don't know.
No, we have surveys that capture, I guess, the more like quantitative stuff. So we have one question that we have that we use a lot that I think does capture some of that feeling is, what 3 words would you use to describe your experience? So through that, we get a little bit of an insight to what people are feeling when they come to our stuff. But one thing we've been doing as part of our 10-year celebration, anniversary birthday, is we've been gathering testimonials of people's memories over the last 10 years. And the testimonials and the stories that people have shared of like their favourite project, or how the first project they did with us led to them doing loads of other things. So we've got we're starting to get more of that now.
Can you share a couple of those?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. They're all on our social media. Peterborough Presents on Facebook and Instagram. If you fancy reading. There was an artist that got some small commission funding, so we gave them a little bit of funding to do a little bit of a project that they were leading on, and we'd kind of support a bit behind the scenes. And that was their first project. And then that led them to working further as a professional creative. It led them to becoming freelance full time because we gave them that opportunity. There's lots of people talking about their favourite projects over the years. I'm trying to think of any more specific examples. But lots of them, I think capture a mixture of people's favourite projects, or how one thing wasn't just an isolated incident. One thing led to lots of other opportunities, and how they feel their lives are better for it.
Wonderful. Like you said, there's going to be many, many examples of this, aren't there?
Mm-hmm.
I know before we started the show, I asked you about the name Millfield of Dreams.
Yes.
Can you share with us, what inspired that name, Millfield of Dreams, for your latest project?
Yeah, so it came from our lead artist on the project, Mark Murphy, who I'll tell you a little bit more about in a little bit. But it's a play on words. I don't know if anyone's seen the film Field of Dreams, but it came from because the project is a film project, it kind of makes sense to have a film title as a pun, but also it just, I think, on an emotional kind of figurative level, it really speaks to how Millfield is a place for dreams for everyone in the community, really, whether it's they've just arrived and they're thinking about their future, or the memories that come back in dreams. It just worked really well. So we were like,
it's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I was saying it to you, wasn't I? It's really, really good. Yeah. It's empowering.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
And if you have to stop and just think for a second, what experience you've had with Millfield.
Yes.
Has it been a dream or a nightmare? Honestly, you have that thought process, but I really, really like it. So was it Mark Murphy you said?
Yes.
Mark Murphy, well done.
Shout out Mark Murphy.
Shout out to you.
Shall I tell you a little bit more about him?
Yes, please do.
Yeah, so as part of the way we work, so this project was chosen by our Millfield community panel, which is made up of a mixture of residents, community leaders, teachers from Glaston Primary School. There's about 8 or 9 of them. And we knew we wanted to try something a bit different from the festival, to see, because as great as the festival was, a festival isn't for everybody. Not everybody can or wants to go enjoy an outdoor festival where it might rain on you. But so, we thought we'd try something different. We'll pause the festival for a bit, try something different that allows different generations, all backgrounds to come together, and really celebrate Millfield as a place. So the community panel chose Mark Murphy, who is actually a former Glaston Street resident himself. He grew up in Glaston Street, was a Peterborean, then moved and is massive in the art world. He's worked with Kylie, he's done BBC Country File, he's done International Commonwealth Games, celebration events.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's huge. And he's Peterborean. He's Peterborean.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. And he's Millfield of Dreams.
Yes, he is.
Okay,
Millfield of Dreams.
We need to get him on in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be in the city when we do the main filming bits of the week. So we'll try and align times and get him on during that week.
We'll discuss more about this in the second half of the show. But how's it going in terms of that story recruiting phase, the people and so on? Are you having good interaction
Yeah,
so far?
great so far. Because we've been working in Millfield for as long as we have, we've already got a really good network of people who are our first port of call. But what's great about this project as well, that it's going to allow so many people to get involved, that those that we're not currently connected to, it's a really easy and beautiful way to bring them in. So always looking for more people. We'd love to involve as many people as possible with this
Okay,
one.
we'll definitely pick this up on the other side of the break. Because, of course, for something like this to succeed, it requires a very diverse input.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's what Millfield has essentially been.
Exactly.
Like I said to you earlier on about, Millfield over the last 50 years has so many different communities, so many different voices, so many different cultures, who have all lived there, raised their families there, run businesses there, and it's going through these super cycles.
Yes, absolutely.
At the moment, so I can imagine, when I think about what this film is going to be like, it's going to try and cover all these voices. Am I right?
Exactly. Yeah, we want it to be as reflective as possible of the true, authentic picture of Millfield.
Wonderful. This is great. You're listening to Friday Night Prime live on Salam Radio 106.2 FM. I've got Charlie Geneva from People Presents here with me. We're talking about the Millfield of Dreams. Coming up to a short ad break. Do stay tuned while we unpack more about this initiative, this project, and how you can get involved as well. Of course, you can text the show on 07411191062 or call me on 01733 602 133. But we will catch you after this short break. Do come back. There's some very interesting questions I have for Charlie that she doesn't know about yet.
You're listening to Salam Radio, and it's now time for Isha Azan.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. Ashhadu an la أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى
This is Salam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim community radio. Broadcasting on 106.2 FM and online.
Welcome back to Friday Night Prime, live on Salam Radio 106.2 FM. I'm your host, Akil Khalil, and in the studio with me is Charlie Jenner from Peterborough Presents. We've been talking about many things about the organisation, all of the cool, funky projects that they've done, and you can catch up with that if you use social media. But in the meantime, if you have any questions for Charlie, you can contact me on 01733602133. Perhaps you've already had an experience with Peterborough Presents. Maybe there's an idea that you have, or you want to take part in the Millfield of Dreams. You can text me on 07411191062 or comment on the live stream. Now, before the break, we touched on the Millfield of Dreams project and what it hopes to achieve and how to get involved. But now we're going to find out why.
Yeah. Why? Why Millfield of Dreams?
So tell me, Charlie.
Why?
Why?
Why? Really, I think everything we do is all about celebrating who people are, celebrating everything about them, whether that's their culture, whether that's their religion, whether that's their hobbies, whether that's their age, whether that's what street they live on, their mates. Our creative projects, especially this one, are all about celebrating and painting a picture and really showcasing how proud everyone should be of their identity, of being part of this Millfield community, whether they've lived there now or whether they've lived there before, or whether they're involved in one of the faith centres and they visit to do their shopping. So many people across the city have a connection with this part of the city, and this project we want to celebrate it. We want to celebrate why Millfield is a home for everyone in the city, really.
So whether you're frequenting to a business, a community centre, going to school, whatever it is you're doing, you want to hear about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And are you saying that no story is too small?
Really, yeah. The theme is home for the film, and Mark will kind of create, I guess, like a backdrop and showcase the different figurative rooms that people live in. But yeah, it's as long as it's connected to home in some way. But everything is kind of, most things have a connection to home and the feelings of being at home.
How can people get involved then? How can somebody submit information to you or have a conversation with you, or perhaps there's something somebody wants to just test the water with you and just do it privately first to see whether or not it's worth doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the best thing to do would be to get in touch with me. And my contact information is on our website, peterboroughpresents.org, or if you DM us on social media, it will get through to me. We're a small team, so I'll see it. But there's kind of two main ways that people can get involved with, if they fancy themselves being on camera. Even if you don't want to show your face, and we're going to be very sensitive and respectful for anybody that doesn't want to. We'll have some ways, whether it's backs of heads or just a part of a person, or there's just an audio segment. So yeah, I'd say don't be worried if you want to get involved but you don't necessarily want to show your face. We'll figure out a way around that works for you. But there's two main bits. So there is filming on set. We're building a fake living room studio kind of like budget Hollywood is what you want to imagine.
Where is this going to be?
At Gladstone Primary School.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, they've been a brilliant partner and really supportive of the project. So we'll be using there as the base during February half-term week, which is the week of the 17th of Feb.
Not far away now.
No, I know, close. So you would be invited. It only take about an hour of your time, and it can be you as an individual, a family group, a club, a friendship group, a community group, whoever you want to be with, or just you on your own if you want to steal the show and be the star. And Mark will provide like a menu of options and do a little bit of improvisation. You don't need any experience. He'll really supportively guide you through the various things he's looking for in the film. And you can bring your own ideas too. If you perform Garba, you can come and do a Garba or whatever it is. And so that's one element. You come to us. It'll only take about an hour of your time during February half-term week. I will book you in at a slot that works for you. Or the other part is what we're calling front window families. So again, done super respectfully so that it's not like your house will be identifiable, but we'd like to film families gathering through their front windows of their house. And it might be, again, like peeking out, looking out the windows, smiling and waving, having a fake conversation. But again, just really celebrating how so many generations, so many different social home dynamics coexist in Millfield. So those are the two main ways. And again, just get in touch with me. I'll book you in. It should only take about an hour of your time, and you'll be completely supported and guided through the whole process. And then the other element is if, being on camera is not for you, we're also gathering some audio clips. I've got a series of questions that Mark's written, and you can answer as many or as few of those as you want in whatever language you want. And then Mark will put that together as like the soundtrack for the film that underscores it. So those are the three main ways.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's exciting, really exciting.
And in terms of the film, have we got an idea of length here? Or?
Only about 10, 12 minutes. So
it's going to be quite impactful?
Yes, yeah.
That's the objective?
Exactly, super impactful. And the idea of the canvas of the film. So actually, you know where the Link Road mural is?
Yeah.
You know how you've got the blank gable end on the other end of Link Road? That's going to be what we're calling our hero facade. So it's almost like you're peeling back the canvas of that wall and seeing the different rooms pop up of the different houses around Millfield, and then there'll be some other beautiful kind of moments. I won't give too many details because I think Mark's still figuring it out and how it will weave together. But we did some test shots. Mark was up just before Christmas, and we filmed that. We had a drone out and everything. We filmed that wall, and we got some beautiful B-roll footage of the mosque at dark at night. It was beautiful. Yeah,
it probably helps now that because they're using some lighting, the green dome lights up as well. So that kind of adds to the atmosphere.
Exactly,
doesn't it?
exactly.
The ambience of the area. You're right. It was I think it was a misty November, might have been, last year. And we were out delivering some food and stuff. And I was on the parkway on dual carriageway, so going past home base and so on. And I remember looking left, and because it was quite misty and the light was on, it would just look mystical. And so I can relate to that.
Amazing.
Absolutely, I can relate to that. And in terms of that mural as well, just going back to it for a second, you're right. It's fabulous.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
So I have a question here from Katie, and Katie's asking us, does People Presents only focus in the Millfield area, or can we expect something in a different part of Peterborough?
So we do work in other neighbourhoods. We're a tiny team, so we're massive overachievers. So we try to reach everywhere, but we can only do what we can do as a small team of 4 or 5 of us. So we currently work in Westwood and in Eye as well. This year, and looking further forward, funding permitting, we're going to start to explore a couple of new areas. We find that working in a neighbourhood level really works for what we do. So we don't tend to do stuff that's citywide unless it's got a particular demographic focus. So we've done a citywide project for deaf, disabled and neurodivergent people, which was, for the whole city. But neighbourhood working for other bits. We're looking to potentially work in Dogsthorpe from this year. So if Katie lives in Dogsthorpe, that's a way she can get involved. But yeah, we do some stuff in Westwood and I as well.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Katie. Thanks for listening. I appreciate that. Here's one for me now.
Excellent.
How do you think arts and creativity bring people together?
Oh, good question. Oh, I love that question. Connection, I think, is the main answer. If I could give a one-word answer, I think it's connection in terms of potentially seeing yourself in whatever it is you're watching or looking at or experiencing, connection to the other people that you're experiencing it with, connection to place, connection to feeling, connection to memories again, connection to stories again. It's a way, I think it brings people together in a way that very few, I guess, in an equivalent, I guess, like football and sport, it does the same thing.
It's
that
literally
sport
going through
does.
my mind.
Yeah.
When I was like, okay, you're right. Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's that same feeling of being together, experiencing something, or if it's not something that's like big public and it's more intimate, whether you're just listening to music yourself or you're reading something, it is still that intimate connection that you have with your experiences and who you are and what you're thinking about that can help you figure stuff out. It can help you learn skills. It can help you feel better mentally. Yeah, so many benefits. So many benefits.
Absolutely. No, I do agree with you. And it's interesting, isn't it? I really did think about football. But then, as you mentioned, there could be something else that you may mutually enjoy with other people. And that could be from, music or a movie or maybe some sort of spiritual event.
Absolutely.
Or perhaps there's a type of food that you like eating together in
Exactly.
in a particular area. It's that journey together.
Exactly.
That feeling either on your own or together. That I liked what you said in terms of, how it makes you feel. Joy, or a place where it brings back memories, or you reminisce, and sometimes everybody would like to turn back the wheel when we didn't have any responsibilities.
Yes,
right.
Of course,
no bills on our heads and so on.
In January, I'm feeling that more than ever.
And you've seen the various changes actually, about Millfield. We've seen some really good things that have taken place in terms of some of the development. Because I can remember some of the parks, some of them that didn't exist.
Yes.
And the one that did exist, which is at the bottom of Russell Street.
Yes.
That was really run down. And then obviously we've seen some of the schools move and so on. I think people forget actually, Millfield is actually a lot bigger than Gladstone Street, Cromwell Road, Taverners Road and Lincoln Road.
Exactly.
It's a lot bigger than that. And so I guess your plea really is for people from right up to the edge of Millfield, who's either lived there or currently lives there, to come along and have that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Share your story. Perhaps you might can people share a story of a loved one who's passed away?
Yeah, absolutely. That can be part of it. Yeah, absolutely. The questions that Mark's provided for the audio section particularly are really open, that there would naturally be ways for stories like that to come out if they want to. And that'd be a beautiful way to pay tribute.
Absolutely. That's what I was thinking. Because there's been some really remarkable people who've lived in that area, who've worked really hard and have been proud of it.
Yes.
Whether they've built something or they've kept it clean or they've, started a project which is still going today, which could potentially bring in people together for whatever that may be. I think there's some amazing stories there. Do share. I think that's really, really important. Can you tell me what has been your most rewarding moment during your time with Peterborough Presents?
Oh, my most rewarding moment. I think actually it's quite a recent one. So we partnered up with 62 Gladstone Street, which is an artist company run by Aisha Zia, who's a playwright, and her dad owned the Gladstone Street video store, and she had a gallery there for a while.
Okay, I need to think now for a second. What was her name again?
Aisha Zia.
Oh, yes, right. So her dad's shop was called Videomatic.
Yes, that's the one. Yes. Yeah, so she for a while, she had a pop-up art gallery in that same unit. This was probably like 2016-ish. But more recently, she's now playwriting, doing stuff all over, still under that name, 62 Gladstone Street. And we partnered with them for Refugee Week this year.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? Sorry to interject.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
62 Gladstone Street. It was like the smallest little shop. You walk in, there was all this art. And okay, that's come back to me. I know if I hadn't said it to you just still, it would have gone out of my mind. Yes, I do remember.
Yeah, so Aisha does some brilliant work still.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
so you said about the refugees.
Yes, so for Refugee Week, we partnered with 62 Gladstone Street because they already wanted to do something and were planning various events. So we partnered with them for a night that was really a night in solidarity with Palestine. But it was broader than that, but we'd partnered with them to pay a person that has lived experience of being a refugee or asylum seeker to tell their story and the stories of others, whatever they wanted to share in either poetry or spoken word in some way, to perform alongside a bunch of other performers that were reading existing monologues and then performing their own stuff on the theme. And it was also with White Kite Collective, or a London-based grassroots organisation that Aisha was working with. And being on stage alongside her, she was a young woman who reading her story and powerfully performing her work to a full audience at the Key Theatre. It was the most powerful, heartwarming, kind of emotional night I think we've ever been part of as Peterborough Presents, and I think that will stick with me forever. It was
you must be really
moment.
proud.
I'm so proud.
Yeah.
So proud.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Sometimes in life you feel the fight is over, and it feels as though your faith is gonna fall. Yeah, baby, keep on praying. Your heart was made to keep on swaying. It's what they call the rise and fall. Sometimes in life you feel the fight is over, and it feels as though your faith is gonna fall. Yeah, baby, keep on praying. Your heart was made to keep on swaying. It's what they call the rise and fall. I used to never thought I'd meet my maker, but now he's with me everywhere I go. I used to roll around with troublemakers, leave my mother crying when I leave the home. She told me, son, I think you're losing your way. The road you're going down, this isn't right. Cause some people you find can take over your life. My soul was searching for something with purpose. My eyes were blinded from the light. My heart was cold and it was getting colder each day and night. Ya Allah, where am I going wrong? Cause deep down this life just isn't me. I'm beginning to lose my integrity. Sometimes in life you feel the fight is over, and it feels as though your faith is gonna fall. Yeah, baby, keep on praying. Your heart was made to keep on swaying. It's what they call the rise and fall. I used to tell myself that I was crazy. I felt that I was about to lose my mind. Cause I've been looking at this world lately through different eyes. Is there really out there nothing more? Cause in my heart this don't seem right to me. Please show me the way out of darkness to light. Cause some days I feel my heart is beating, then other times I don't feel a thing. But tell me how you're supposed to feel the beauty without no pain. This life's a test, inshallah we'll make it. Just know that from this life we will depart. I'm begging Allah for you to please clean my heart. Sometimes in life you feel the fight is over, and it feels as though your faith is gonna fall. on swaying. It's what keeps swaying. The rise and fall. The rise and fall.
يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلبي على دينك. O turner of hearts, make my heart firm upon your religion. Ameen.
And that was Rise and Fall by Khalid Sadiq. Fantastic track indeed. You're listening to Friday Night Prime live on Salam Radio 106.2 FM. I'm in the studio with Charlie Geneva.
Yes.
See, I've been doing
You're
well.
doing perfect,
But you know what's
mate.
interesting?
Perfect.
Every time I say your surname, I ask myself if I did it correctly because it's written differently, isn't it? Right, and so then I look at you, and then you give me visual confirmation.
Yes.
So I think, oh, yeah, I'm all right. Actually,
I'm
okay.
well versed in doing it, but you're doing amazing.
Thank you very much. If someone listening tonight wanted to get involved,
Yes.
I know we've mentioned about get in touch via socials and talking
Yeah.
about the Millfield of Dreams. But is there any other project or exhibition or something that you've got in your pipeline in 2025 that you could share with us tonight?
Let me think. Potentially, I'm trying to think. We will definitely be getting involved in some way. I don't know what yet at Neem Park Trust Peterborough Celebrates Festival, which will be in May.
That was last year as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember that
They've been
was
running it for about
packed.
3 years
Yeah,
now,
that's
I
right,
think.
yeah, people say that,
Yeah.
yeah.
They've done an amazing job to keep it going, and it to be so successful so quickly.
Location is good.
Yes, exactly.
Location is good.
Exactly. I'm trying to think what else we've definitely got coming up. At the minute, we've got on our social media, we've been doing our own podcast series, actually, and illustration series called Everyone's Creative, right? And it's that idea that exploring how creativity lives and exists in people in all walks of life, all backgrounds, hobbies, professional, and everything in between. And we use the word creativity in its broadest sense. So like what you're saying before about cooking, cooking's creative. I still see that as a creative skill.
Yeah, but would you then say someone who doesn't cook but then has what I call mobile chefs? Does that count?
You're a consumer of creativity.
Touche, my friend. Touche. Very good indeed. Very good.
So yeah, that will be released on our socials in a few months. There's some already online from the first season, so you can kind of listen to that. There's loads of local people, faces you might recognise, just talking about their own experiences of creativity. We will have some youth work happening in my colleague Keely's leading on that, so I don't know as much about that. We will have a small exhibition at the museum linked to a project we did in that's all about the heritage, the working class heritage of the brickworks. And that will be at Peterborough Museum next month. Beyond that, the joy of what I love about what we do is we don't know, because we're always shaping it with community. So longer term, I don't necessarily know what it will be. It's really exciting in that way, but it makes it hard to then talk about what's coming up because I don't
it's
have a
very
long-winded.
fluid.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
indeed. Can you share your social handles, please?
Yes, so we are at Peterborough Presents, all one word, across Facebook, Instagram, and we've got TikTok, but we're not very good on it. So you can follow us on there, but you won't see very much. The best places, are Facebook and Instagram, or LinkedIn. We're trying to get better at LinkedIn as well.
Okay, that's brilliant. What advice would you give to other cities looking to develop a similar arts program?
Oh, good question. Good question. You're on it with the questions tonight. I think listen to people, because the communities already have the expertise, they already have the experience, even if they don't have the cultural and creative experience because they've not been offered that before. They know who they are, they know the realities of what it's like to be their community or to live their lives the way that they do. So being open and listening and actively listening to those stories or those experiences or those desires, and then taking that forward in a creative way will mean that the partnerships are trusted and that people trust you and people genuinely want to work with you because you genuinely care about what they have to say. And I think lots of big organisations forget that. And that's why I think we're so successful at what we do, is because we genuinely care and we genuinely listen.
That's one of the beauties of grassroots work,
Yes,
isn't it?
exactly.
Your clientele, for want of a better word, is people you interact with. You get to
Exactly.
understand exactly what is taking place. People are, like, as you mentioned, building relationship with you, building rapport with you, and then you start to see how you can affect change.
Yes.
More power to you, Charlie, and your team, of course. So just recap then. Give us the dates and timelines for Millfield of Dreams.
Yes, so the main thing for Millfield of Dreams, the filming week is taking place February half-term week, the week of the 17th of February. Mark Murphy and his team will be in town for that whole week, filming out and about around Millfield and our on-set location at Glaston Primary School. Then between now and then, basically, is your time to get in touch with us if you want to be involved. We're hoping that the film will then be premiered in Millfield in some way in May. But what we'd really love, we need to fundraise for this bit, so it might take a little bit longer. But rather than just have a cinema screen and do a pop-up cinema, we'd love to project the film on the side of a building in Millfield as a live event, so that it brings it to life a bit more, really.
That would be so cool.
It would be wicked, right?
Honestly,
Yeah.
that would be so cool.
Got to fundraise for that bit. So if you know of any fundraising avenues, please get in touch.
Absolutely. And this is fantastic, honestly. I think it's brilliant. There are some amazing stories that need to be shared, because that,
absolutely.
Millfield has developed over the last 50 years into this culture of melting pot of culture. It's fantastic. Thank you for tuning in to Friday Night Prime. Big thanks to our guest Charlie Geneva.
Correct.
Did really well, didn't I? Remember, the power of art is bringing people together, and Peterborough Presents proves just that. I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Charlie. Do find them on social media and do lend your voice. Do let people know who've lived in that area previously to get involved as well. Have a fantastic weekend.